Good morning, Ian Crouch with your 8:30 Hunter News update. The lawyer for Kathleen Folbig has described the lack of communication and information from the state government about her client's claim for compensation as ludicrous. It's been 2 years since the now 58-year-old walked free from prison after being acquitted of her involvement in the deaths of her 4 children. Despite numerous requests to meet with Premier Chris Minns and Attorney General Michael Daly, there's been nothing forthcoming from the government about a potential timeline for compensation or the process involved. Kathleen Folbig has told News Limited the delay in a decision on compensation meant her life was still on hold. An inquest into one of the Hunter's most baffling missing person cases will resume this week. Zach Barnes went missing on November 13, 2016. Police were told the 18-year-old got out of a car driven by a friend at Thornton and hasn't been seen since. An inquest into Zach's disappearance and suspected death will resume tomorrow in Sydney, almost 2 years after it began. Deputy State Coroner Carmel Forbes will attempt to determine the date, place, cause and circumstances of his death using evidence gathered over the past 8.5 years. Lake Macquarie Council says it could still be a few weeks yet before the Red Bluff Boardwalk at Eleebana opens again. It was forced to close last month when a houseboat crashed into it and the bridge sustained some serious damage. Council's Dane Harris says crews will now look to open the bridge with a temporary solution while assessment of the structure continues.
The main aim at the moment is to get the bridge back in service. We're also releasing a tender at the moment to get a level 3 bridge inspection done. So the purpose of that inspection will be to look at all the elements on that bridge and see if there's significant damage as a result of that vessel impacting it.
Lake Macquarie Council will hold an extraordinary meeting tonight to discuss economic plans ahead of the scheduled closure of the Eraring Power Station. Eraring is Australia's largest coal-fired power station and is due to close in August 2027. Mayor Adam Schultz says its closure will have deep and lasting impacts on the local workforce and economy unless the transition is managed appropriately by the state and federal governments. He says he wants council to call on the federal government to implement an energy industry jobs plan through the Net Zero Economy Authority. Toronto High Year 12 student Sienna Diesel will speak on women's health issues and the need for inclusion of women in medical research in Youth Parliament this week. All while completing her HSC, she'll be part of this year's Women's Affairs Committee, which has written an inclusion of women in medical research bill. Sienna says it's great to be understanding how democracy works.
We'll also be talking about the national matter of public importance, which coincidentally is also women's healthcare. We didn't find that out until a couple of weeks ago after we'd already written our bill. But yeah, so we have MPs that are chairing our debates and they'll be watching over and listening. And some will also come and sit in and watch as well.
Weekly caps on the cost of public transport will remain the same for Hunter commuters, despite Opal fares increasing by 2.5% from today. Transport for New South Wales says the annual increase is in line with inflation and will amount to around 50 cents a week extra for the average commuter. The weekly caps of $50 for adults and $25 for youth and concession holders will remain in place, along with the daily cap of $2.50 for seniors.
To NURFM Sport.
The Knights have cruised to their first win of the NRLW season, putting away the Cowboys 26 points to 6. Early errors from Newcastle threatened to see them be dealt another disappointing loss, but when the side clicked together there was no looking back as they ran in 4 tries. Skipper Yasmin Clydesdale says a shift in their mentality from last week's defeat proved vital.
Yeah, definitely. There was a lot of girls that were disappointed in last week's performance and we knew that we needed a change in mindset, and yeah, I definitely think we did that today.
Meanwhile in the NRL, the Knights fell 32-14 to the Storm at home. Newcastle were the better side early on, jumping out to an 8-2 lead in the opening half hour thanks to a Dom Young double, which included a stunning solo effort. Fletcher Hunt scored his second NRL try with 10 minutes to play, but by then it was too little too late. The result sees them sitting in 13th place, 6 points behind the Roosters in 8th as the competition begins its run to the finals. The Newcastle Falcons have defeated local rivals Maitland Mustangs 116-95 to keep their NBL 1 East playoff hopes alive. Matur Malawatch dropped 22 points for the Falcons while being everywhere on the defensive end. 37 points from Maitland's Daniel Milburn wasn't enough to bring his side close to the win. And in Hunter Rugby, arch rivals Greens and Wanderers have played out a 22-all draw, while Maitland thumped Southern Beaches 53-24. That's sport. I'm Will McGrath.
And the winning numbers in Weekend Lotto are 9, 23, 29, 35, 36 and 37, and the supplementaries are 20 and 31. And now you're up to date with the latest 2NURFM Hunter News.